I shouldn't be leading this group. That felt good to admit. If I kept that bottled up in my head any longer, my brain was gonna explode. I mean, I know why everyone's looking to me. I'm URE Armed Forces, fighting for a free and united Earth, yada yada yada, but I'm just a pilot. Throw me in any squadron you want, and I'll be your top stick, bet the house on it. Just don't expect me to command the damn thing. All I can really do is try to keep everyone's spirits up. Sure, we're in the ass end of nowhere, but a smile and a few laughs can go a long way, even in the worst of situations. Can't make rations out of it, but hey, baby steps.
Diana, are we going in?
You know, this whole staving off the ever-looming specter of despair thing would be a lot easier without all the dinosaurs. Did I not mention those? I should have mentioned those. Anyway, turns out that raptor attacks aren't so great for morale. True story. At least the weather's holding up. We've had clear skies for 3 days now. And it was a good idea to start giving people call signs too. Getting a new call sign for my squadron always made me feel closer to them. Whatever it was. Hopefully it works with this bunch. The newbie suggested rubberneck for me, since I keep looking at the sky. But I can't help it. It's really gorgeous here. A perfect blue. Ugh, I feel so much lighter now. Sure, part of that might come from sleeping in an actual bed, but mostly I'm just relieved that my ragtag band of rascals is in better hands. This larger group we joined is way more organized. They've been setting up shelters, mining element, and establishing a perimeter for weeks. Not surprising, one of the leaders is URE Special Forces after all. Weirdly, some of the people here are from the Federation. But given our situation, even the Feddies are being team players. Hope that truce holds up when we get this tech gear up and running. The more the camp's grown, the more tense things have become with the Feddies, so today I decided to break the ice. Whatever's happening between the United Republics of Earth and the Terran Federation and the rest of the world doesn't matter. We're all in this together, right? Of course, with my dumb luck, I didn't make nice with just any old Feddy. I unknowingly buddied up to Santiago. Yeah, as in the Santiago that's so famous he's only got one name. As in the guy who hacked into URE Command one day and reverse engineered our latest tech armor the next. Yeah, that Santiago. Turns out he's really into pop music. Super disappointed he's missing the new season of URE Idol. Go figure. The top brass finally agreed on a plan today. According to our makeshift engineering core, we've got the resources to cobble together an off-brand, flight-ready suit of tech armor in a month or two. One person will then take that armor and leave in search of help. Me. I'm fully certified for tech armor, so I've got a good shot at succeeding, and I'm pretty sure that my new buddy was the one who got the other Feddies on board. I was the only pick they could agree on. It's a lot of pressure, but this is the kind I like. No big group decisions, just a set of wings and an impossible mission. That's what Diana Altaras is all about. baby, did I miss real speed. And the sky. Missed you too, beautiful. That prototype jetpack might not compare to my fighter, but the rush I got was way better than I'd hoped. Guess I've been stuck here for longer than I thought. Santiago's been joking about how much I owe him, but he's more right than he knows. I promised to bring him some music for the ride back to civilization. Least I can do for that little nerd. The full set of armor should be done by next week. Then it's finally showtime.
Where'd I put it? There we go.
Well, so much for that. Less than a day after I set out, my mission hit a wall. Or more specifically, an invisible energy barrier that extends around the entire area. Definitely in my bottom 10 landings of all time, by the way. My shoulder's still feeling it. Once I reported back, I took Santiago to inspect the barrier. He thinks it's also the culprit that's responsible for jamming our long-range signals. So basically, as long as this barrier exists, we have no way to reach the outside world. We're completely isolated. Unless, of course, we find a way to take it down. We finally found our target. Apparently, those 3 obelisks on the horizon are attached to some crazy teleportation tech, and each one is linked to a 4th signal high above us. Whatever's up there is what we need to take out. Santiago says he can get us there by bypassing the security on one of the obelisk's platforms. Trouble is, we don't know what'll be waiting for us, and not everyone here is combat ready. So we're gonna take the diplomatic approach and make our mysterious hosts a present. The leaders don't want to risk spoiling the surprise, so we're discreetly building it in pieces. The whole bomb won't even be assembled until the minute the operation starts. Our captors won't know what hit them. Months of planning, a squad of guys armed to the teeth, and the biggest homemade bomb you've ever seen. And we still weren't prepared. How could we be? I don't think anyone could have been ready for that insane, shape-shifting whatever it was. It attacked us as soon as we carted the package to the center of the platform. We were getting taken out so fast we just set the bomb on a short fuse and made a break for it.
It's set! Run!
Less than half of us managed to dive off the platform in time and... I could feel the heat of the explosion as I fell.
Hope they're okay.
Nah, no sense in worrying. Not like we can do anything.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's new.
If I hadn't stabilized Santiago on the way down, he'd been paced too. Of course, with everything that's been happening since we blew up that platform, we might be all screwed anyway.
We need to get back. Come on.
Things have gone sideways in a hurry, and I mean seriously, Fubar. Destroying that platform didn't just weaken the barrier trapping us here, it took out the whole freaking sky. Or at least the giant hologram that was posing as it. So yeah, turns out this entire landmass and everything on it is orbiting the Earth like some kind of artificial space island. Wild, right? I'd appreciate the sheer insanity of that a lot more if this place didn't feel like it was falling apart. We're taking all that we can carry and making a break for that cave system we discovered a while back. If the atmosphere's thicker underground, then we've got a real shot at pulling through. Oh my god, looks like we made it just in time. I backtracked to take a peek at the surface, and it's just one big fire. That's not a metaphor. I mean, it's actually burning. I guess some combination of the radiation that's leaking through the barrier and reflected sunlight is turning it into our own private hellscape. That's not exactly the kind of thing you want in your backyard, so the plan is to keep delving into these caverns. The good news is they're way bigger than we ever thought. We should be able to set up a pretty extensive base of operations, and after that, better not think that far ahead. Chin up and eyes forward, soldier. Our base is looking pretty fancy these days. We even had enough spare element to whip up some genuine hyperchambers. I'm feeling more rested than ever, yet somehow just as restless. There's no sky to lose myself in anymore. That's the problem. It's left me too much time to think. Weirdly, I keep coming back to my necklace, the Star of David one my mother gave me. Sometimes I catch myself reaching for it, forgetting it's not there. Why is that? I've never been too religious. Better take one of those gliders for a spin to clear my head. They're the only way to fly now that our jetpacks stopped working. Maybe I'll think of some dirtier jokes while I'm at it. Halstead one-upped me on the last patrol, and I can't let that stand.
I've got it.
I always knew Santiago would come up with a new plan. His taste in pop idols might be questionable, but if anyone can figure this place out, it's him. After studying the obelisks in depth, he's convinced that he can design an amped-up version of their teleportation tech that can connect to more distant platforms. Specifically, it would be able to lock into a signal we discovered a few weeks ago, one that's on a slightly different frequency than all the other obelisks we've detected. More importantly, it's far, far away from any of them. The scale of this would be massive. We're talking years of work, but everyone agrees it's our best move. The Gateway project is officially underway.
Let's begin, shall we? We need that power. It's just out of reach. Let's get to work.
I knew the Gateway project would be gigantic, but it's still amazing to see how it's grown. We're not even halfway done, and it's already a sight to behold. The size is a product of how far we need to travel. The greater the distance, the bigger the teleportation matrix needs to be. Of course, that means we'll also need a lot more power, but we've got a solution for that too. The obelisks. Those bad boys are tapped into this place's main power supply, so in theory, we can hijack that power for ourselves. The caveat is that we need a massive surge of it all at once, and we're not certain how to pull that off. We'll crack that code eventually, though. I'm sure of it.
Where have I been taken? When I tried to pull my sword from that machine, there was a bright flash, and suddenly, I was in this desolate place. Whatever that device was, I must have broken it. Nerva's corpse traveled with me, blood still seeping from the wound I left in his chest. Despite what he's done, part of me thinks I should bury him. He was a tyrant, but he still died a warrior's death. For now, I will bandage the wound on my face and rest. It is night here, and it will be safer to explore in the light of day. I was fortunate today. The sun was rising as I finished bandaging my wounds, and had I not glanced at it, I would never have seen Nerva's body. It was 300 paces away, right where I left it, and it was smoldering. The sunlight was burning it. I remembered the cave I had spotted earlier and ran for it as fast as I could. My legs ached, and smoke was rising from my armor by the time I arrived. Yet, I was still alive. So now the sun was trying to kill me. Perhaps I was delirious, but I laughed at the notion. Monsters and armies have failed, so let the sun have its chance. I will defeat it too. Yesterday, I realized I could rest no longer. I had no more spare cloth for bandages, and had eaten nearly all the moss nearby. Rather than risk the heat of the sun on the surface, I ventured deeper in the caverns. It was a treacherous descent, but I'm glad I went. The cave is larger than I could have imagined. In fact, it is hardly a cave at all. A great forest flourishes down here. It is as if this whole land is backwards. However, there is one thing that is familiar to me. The air is thick with the sound and smell of wild beasts. I must remain on my guard. The light down here does not burn like the light on the surface. Even the light that comes from the ceiling. I do not understand why, but I am glad for it. I was attacked by a pack of small monsters with spines on their back. In another life, they would have terrified me. But now, I fear no beast. I slew many of them, but more kept appearing. Even after killing the largest of them, they did not hesitate. Only when I neared a strange glowing pillar did they retreat. They seemed to fear the unusual light it emits. I should use that weakness against them. I finally removed the bandages from my face. While I avoided infection, the wound will surely scar. I do not mind, and neither does my new companion. In fact, I had just removed my bandages when I first saw him. From the branch of a great tree, he stared down at me with curious eyes. I stared back just as curiously. It looked almost like a young deer, but its fur was colorful, and it glowed like a fallen star. He reminded me of the paintings I'd seen of Qiling, but he seemed too small. Whatever he is, he approached me so innocently, I could not leave him behind. So now, he is Xiao, my little light in the dark. Navigating the forest has been easier with Xiao at my side. His light has both guided and protected me. The small spined monsters that I fought before returned in numbers, but they cowered and fled before Xiao's light, as they did from the glowing pillar. So long as Xiao is with me, I need not fear them. Yet, Xiao's power is not an endless well. If he does not periodically extinguish his light to rest, it will fade with time on its own. I must be careful when wandering in the darkest parts of this forest, lest Xiao's light will go out, and we are both put at risk. Even with Xiao's help, I can only do so much on foot. I need a reliable steed that can carry me swiftly through the forest and help me gather resources. Fortunately, I may have found such a beast. The other night, I heard many howls in the distance. When I investigated, I found a pack of strange beasts that look like hairless wolves. They are ugly, vicious creatures, but they are the perfect size for riding. For now, I shall stalk the pack. When one of the wolves is separated from the others, then I will knock it out with my arrows and claim it for my own. I have named my wolf Shi, for he is so black that he swallows all the light around him. No beast can replace Wu Zui, but Shi is swift and fierce. Upon his back, I can travel across the forest with ease. Yet, I know that Shi alone is not enough. In these lands, the strong will dominate the weak, and they will try to destroy those who do not submit. I am reminded of this every time my scar aches. To survive, I must grow stronger. It is time to rebuild my army. Yesterday, I stalked a giant-shelled beast with large claws that it could use like hands. Though slow, it seemed strong. I decided it would be a good addition to my army. But before I could attempt to bring it down, something swooped down from the sky to attack it. It was a great lizard, but not one like the ones I'd seen before. No, this beast was a true dragon, long of body with a feathery mane. It used the feathers on its arms to ride the wind, and tore its prey shells asunder with iron claws. When it finished its meal, it scaled the cavern walls and became one with the shadows, vanishing entirely from my sight. I have found my new prey. Soon, I shall command the might of a dragon. The dragon was even more formidable than I expected. At first, Shi was able to dance around the beast while I riddled it with arrows, but I underestimated how far its feathered arms could take it. Its sudden leap left Shi's leg wounded, and I was flung from the saddle. The crippled wolf did not last long after that, and I only survived myself by taking to the trees. time the dragon succumbed to my knockout poison. Its hide was full of arrows. I buried Shi where he fell. Though he did not serve me long, he did so loyally. Thanks to him, I possess the strength of a dragon. I am the Beast Queen once more. Traveling through the cave is easy thanks to my dragon, who I have named Aoyue. I've discovered that the cave is larger than I imagined. Beyond the forest, there are tunnels that lead further down into the earth, to a land of glistening water, and plants that glow like Xiao does. How far down does it go? If I keep going, will I find the end of the world? I do not know, but I will press on. I cannot return home, or even to the island I came from. My enemy lies dead far behind me, and I've found no friends or allies. I have no aim beyond simply surviving. So for now, all I can do is move forward. The beasts of this land grow stranger the deeper I go. Yesterday, I was attacked by a swarm of flying demons with writhing tentacles in place of heads. I think they were after Xiao. Where some monsters feared his light, these ones hungered for it. However, they were no match for Aoyue's fangs and my blade together. Still, I will keep Xiao close and have him extinguish his light for now. I could not bear it if he came to harm. Of everyone I have met in these lands, only Xiao had stayed by my side of his own will. Even Wu Zui had to be laid low first. I suppose there was that woman from the island too, but she is gone. Besides, I struck her. I doubt we were friends. I'm not alone in these caves after all. The footprints I found today belong to no beast, that much is certain. Yet, if humans left those footprints, they move like no one I have ever seen. They are deep, as though their feet hit the ground with great force, and they often have huge gaps between them. No man can leap that far. Yet, there are no beast tracks that accompany them. Perhaps if I move carefully, I can track and observe them. Whether they are friend or foe, I should learn more about them before I act.
Why do I always get picked to check on the obelisk? I really wish they'd send someone else for a change. Every time I have to scale these stupid walls with my climbing picks, I wish my armor's jetpack still worked, even though it hasn't for years. We never did figure out why they lost so much functionality after the catastrophe. Something new in the atmosphere, maybe? It's still worth wearing when we brave the surface, but I just feel so slow in it. Oh, and speaking of armor, I found something weird on my last trip. A burnout chest plate and some even crispier human remains. I don't know how, but I think we've got some new arrivals.
Where did I make my mistake? I moved in silence and never once left the shadows. But somehow, they saw me. I mounted Aoyue in an instant, but somehow, they still caught up to me. Had we fought, the battle may have been difficult. There were only 4 of them, and I had Aoyue, but their weapons and armor glowed like moonlight, and their movements were swift. I was about to strike first, when one of them raised their hands and took off her helmet. revealing a human face and hair the color of sunset. She convinced her friends to lower their weapons, but even as I write, I keep one hand on mine. We may share a camp tonight, but I dare not sleep. The armored ones had many questions when they awoke. They were surprised that I had raised Aoyue myself, and even more surprised that I came from a different land of monsters. That seemed important to them. I asked questions too. They say it is their armor that lets them see at night and move with such speed. I did not believe it until the orange-haired woman let me wear her helmet. With it, I could see through darkness as though it were bathed in green light, or see the red shadows of distant creatures. It was like magic. They asked if I wanted to stay in their village for a time. I doubt I will stay long, but I want to see more of this magic.
This woman, Mei-Yin, she's not like anyone I've ever met. And not just because she's from hundreds of years in the past. It's those eyes. They're just so intense. It's like staring into a storm. She caused a real stir when we first brought her back to base with her pet monster, but everyone's pretty used to her by now. Honestly, I think she trusts us way less than we trust her. She only seems to speak when she's doing chores, and she's always got one hand on that sword of hers. I guess that's what it takes to survive all alone like that. But hopefully she'll learn that it's okay to let her guard down. Maybe then I can really meet the person behind those eyes.
This village is as strange as the armor its residents wear. They use tools containing light and sleep in glowing metal cases. They offered one to me, but I refused. I've slept outside with Aoyue and Xiao instead. I've no desire to sleep in something that looks like a coffin. They claim that their tools are not magic, but machines. I do not understand how that is possible. On the island, there were many weapons and tools that were new to me, but they were made of real things. How does one touch light, much less shape it? It is wondrous and beautiful, but I wish I understood it. I will have to try harder. It is no use. These machines are beyond my comprehension. I cannot even make the simplest of their tools to work properly. Compared to this, training with a spear or sword seems simple. I have tried to earn my keep by helping with chores and other tasks, but I usually get in the way or slow things down. Compared to the others, I am like a child, and they treat me as such. This was a mistake. I belong in the forest of the beasts, not among these people in their glowing metal halls. I will ask them for supplies and depart within the week. I asked the woman with orange hair if I could take some supplies when I left, but she refused to do it for free. She said if I wanted the supplies, I had to try to use their armor first. It seemed like a trick, but I wanted to try the armor anyway, so I accepted. If I have been tricked, then I've never been so glad to be fooled. When I'm in that armor, my blood dances in my veins, and I can feel the world around me. It is as if I was asleep for my whole life, and I only awoke when I put the armor on. I cannot leave after feeling that. Not until I at least master the armor. Perhaps then, but not now.
I don't think I really understood hard work until I met Mei. Whether she's learning how to operate holographic controls or working on her aim, she basically tries as hard as she can all the time. And she hates asking for help. Instead, she'll just scrunch her eyebrows and glare at whatever she's working on until she can think of a solution. It's kind of adorable, to be honest. The only time I think she takes it easy is when we're sparring. That really opened her up, by the way. She even gave me a call sign, Juicy. Although she won't tell me what it means. I'd bet the answer on a match, but she'd kick my butt in a heartbeat if she got serious. Those muscles are cheat codes.
Discretion is the key to the armor. When I started, I would leap further than I intended, turn too sharply, or grip objects too tightly. Now, I'm in complete control. I could scale a mountain while carrying an egg and never break it, but also smash stone or fight a beast barehanded. Once I got used to the armor, my experience as a warrior helped me learn quickly. I can already outpace Juzi in a race and beat her in the sparring ring. I try to go easy on her now. She helped me a lot, so I do not wish to shame her. I should call her by her proper name too. But Diana sounds too serious for a woman that laughs so much. Juzi fits her better. She doesn't mind it, but I don't think she knows I've named her after an orange. Three days ago, I was asked to help the villagers obtain a clutch of dragon eggs. Only then did it occur to me that they did not have many creatures at their command. They relied far more on their tools. Perhaps this is why they were so impressed with Ao Yue. The hunt went well. I had to do much of the work and explain many things, but the others were grateful. It also let me test the limits of my armor. By now, using it is no different to me than wielding a sword, and I welcome the challenge. After the hunt, no one treats me like a child anymore, even when their tools confuse me. I suppose we all have different things that we excel at. I have turned into something of a stable master. The others are still unused to the presence of so many beasts and have to be taught how to care for them. It is a lot of work, but I do not mind. It has been comforting to be around so many beasts again. I've also taught them some lessons in close quarters combat. While their weapons are powerful, most of these people are not warriors. They have not tasted war. Juzi claims she was a soldier, but that she fought by flying metal ships through the clouds. She says she will show me how if we ever escape these caves. I doubt it, but it is nice to imagine. Juzi has finally convinced me to start sleeping in the metal pods the others use. I must admit, I slept more soundly, though perhaps that was because I knew she could no longer pester me about it. I do many things like the other villagers now. I eat like them, I dress like them, and I work with them. I still struggle with their tools, and I know that I can never truly be one of them. But that was true during the Yellow Turban Rebellion too. Those who I fought beside were my comrades, but I could never be a true soldier like they were. If that is my place in this village, then I do not mind staying for a while longer. It is not so bad.
Well, it looks like I'm off on another impossible mission. It's been way too long if you ask me. So those abandoned structures that Scout Team spotted a while back? Well, we're still not sure who left them there, but Santiago says that he's detecting the emissions from what could be hypercharged crystallized element shards in their vicinity. We need those for the Gateway Project's focusing lens, and we haven't been able to make them ourselves. The trouble is, we can't even survive down there without hazard suits. And half of that scout team got torn to pieces by the nastiest, ugliest creatures we've ever seen. This could get bumpy.
I must move quickly. The tribe sent a party into the depths of the caverns, where rivers of violet fire flow freely and nothing grows. They sought something important, something that could help the whole village, but they have not returned. There is no response when we call for them through our messenger boxes. The other villagers fear them lost to the terrible demons that lurk there. I refuse to believe that. Juzi is with them. I've equipped Aoyue with armor and weapons like Mei-Yin, and donned armor that will protect me from the violet fire. Whatever beasts or demons lie in our path, we will destroy them utterly and bring Juzi's team back. This is a place of death. The ground is scarred and barren, and there is no light or movement save that of the violet fire. Even Aoyue does not seem to like it. The living should not tread here. Why would Juzi come here? What was so important that she would risk this place? And why would she not tell me? Whatever the reason, it has already cost some of her teammates their lives. I found their bodies earlier today, mangled and partially devoured beside the remains of their beasts. Thankfully, Juzi was not among them. Great towers of crystal loom ahead, where the violet fire has frozen solid. Perhaps she has found shelter there.
Mission log. First Lieutenant Diana Altaras, URE 82nd Orbital Strike Fighter Squadron. I'm leaving this for the record in the event of mission failure. We lost most of the team soon after arriving in the area of operations. Rojo and Flynn got picked off as we neared the target. Halstead and I are the last remaining assets. I was able to confirm that the target is in the ruins and have encoded the coordinates within this message. I'm gonna leave this behind and then we'll make one last run at it. And if someone could read this to me. Sorry, I'll never make good on that jet ride. You'd have loved it. I promise.
Diana, we can turn back now. It's not too late. This better be worth it.
I shall have to find whoever forged this gun and thank them with all my heart. Its strength saved the day. With my weapons in hunt sight, I spotted 2 survivors running from a huge monster, but a crystal formation stood in my way. Rather than go around it, I sent Aoyue ahead and fired through it. My aim was true and the demon real. By the time it recovered, Aoyue was upon it, and we finished it together. I knew one of the survivors was Juzi when she ran up to hug me. I'm unused to such gestures, but I think she understood how grateful I was for her safety. Her teammate is wounded but alive. With rest, he will survive. Even now, I cannot convince Juzi to leave. I even tried using her real name, Diana, to show her I was serious, but she will not hear it. She says the plants she was looking for are too important. But what could be worth what happened to her teammate? It was disgusting. He started spasming in the middle of the night, and then the smaller version of the monster that was attacking them burst from his chest and tore out his heart. Blood and bones sprayed everywhere. and I was too stunned to act until it leaped at me. Fortunately, I was able to hold it off until Jutsu could shoot it. Whatever we are seeking, I fear we will face even worse dangers to obtain it. Jutsu said that the item she sought was in some ruins not far from where we camped. However, when she called them ruins, I had not expected to see buildings like the ones in our own village. It was puzzling to see buildings that looked at once ancient and new. I had little time to dwell on the ruins, for we were quickly set upon by more of the great demons. They rushed us, slobbering and gnashing, as Jutsu scrambled to find what she was looking for. I was able to hold them off with Aoyue's cannons, but by the time Jutsu found her prize, we were being overrun. To my shame, I had to leave Aoyue behind to hold the demons off while we escaped. It pained me to hear his roar as we fled, but his sacrifice saved our lives. Forgive me, my loyal friend. Without Aoyue, we had to move more cautiously. Another battle with the demons could prove fatal, but we managed to avoid their sight. All that was left was the climb. With no mount, we had to use climbing picks to slowly make our way upwards. It was a long and treacherous ascent, and we both nearly fell several times. Fortunately, we were there to catch and support each other, and through our combined strength, we safely reached the caverns above. After the climb, we lay there for a long time. I cannot remember if we laughed or cried. Perhaps both. Jutsu said that the item she found could help the entire village, but I do not care. I'm just so glad we are both still alive. We received the hero's welcome when we limped back to the village. The others say that Jutsu's treasure will help complete a magic door that can take us out of this place. They speak of escape and of returning home. That should excite me more. I used to long for those things. Yet, what comforts me most is that when they speak of their future, they included me in it.
Got it.
I'm finally one of them. Not as a mercenary or out of desperation, but because I'm wanted. I owe it to Jutsu, I think. No, to Diana. She trusted me before anyone else.
Okay.
I will not forget that. I've been thinking of home lately. It is so far away now. I think that perhaps it is out of reach. Even if the others can complete their magic door, I do not think I will ever see it again. I can accept that now. I can move past it. I have a new home now, I think. And while I'm still not used to its oddities, I feel as though it is mine. Each day, I grow more adept with the tools here and more used to my routine. It has become normal to me, and now that this place is my home, I swear that no harm will come to it. I shall protect it with my life.
So, I finally finished the necklace. I could have had someone else make it, but that wouldn't have felt right. Not after all Mei went through to help me. At first, I was worried she didn't like it, but it turns out that she just felt guilty for receiving a gift without giving one. Typical, right? So in exchange, I finally learned what juicy meant. Tangerine. This whole time she's been calling me Tangerine. Definitely not the worst ginger-centric call sign I've had though, and totally worth it for that look on her face. She was so embarrassed. In that moment, I almost leaned in but I don't think she understands how I feel. Not completely. Not yet. And that's okay. For once, I'm not in a rush. Once we step through that gateway, we'll have all the time in the world.
I fear that even with the unwitting aid of Ms. Walker, I still cannot completely control the machines in the Starlit Sanctuary. I believe they sent us to the correct ARK, but I was unable to control precisely where we arrived on it. Alas, that means the location I saw in the Sanctuary is beyond my reach for the time being. Imagine an entire cavern of the most potent element known to man. The wonders I can create. Okay, I think I'm done now.